My guest tonight is a hilarious comedian and actor who has starred in Ratatouille, The King of Queens, and The Goldbergs. His new podcast with his wife, Meredith Salinger, Did You Get My Text, drops tomorrow. Please welcome one of our all-time favorites, Patton Oswalt! Patton, first of all, thanks so much for being here, but I gotta say, I know that you are a regular here at the Largo Theater, and I didn't get to acknowledge that at the top of the show. The Largo Theater has been a lifesaver for us. Yeah. This is probably the premier live theater for comedians in Los Angeles.
Hands down.
And we've been doing our show out of here, and then to get to finish up our run here at this theater is very meaningful. And I could just see the look on your face when you came out and you were back.
There's a crowd. Sorry, I'm gonna get all choked up. There's a crowd at the Largo. I'm looking at. I haven't been in. I'm so happy right now. I just want to stay here. This has been more than a year. I haven't seen a crowd at the Largo. This is amazing. So I'm very, very happy.
You know, I think the first thing we want to do is catch up with how you are, how it's going, because that's what I find I'm doing is I'm talking to people, good friends, that I've been disconnected from so long. I'll talk to them on Zoom, but it's not the same. No. Do you feel safe? I mean, I know are you fully vaccinated?
Yes, fully vaccinated. Listen, I didn't do any line jumping or use my celebrity to get vaccinated, but here's how I got vaccinated early. I'm just saying this now. Mm-hmm. I have a writer friend who lives in Riverside, California. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, maybe I shouldn't tell you this. There's a Rite Aid near me. Every time I walk in, there's a woman sitting at a card table, and she's begging people to get vaccinated. And I'm basically living in MAGA country, and no one will get their shots. No one will get a shot from her. Wow. If you drive out here, I guarantee you can just walk in and they'll give you the shot. But I made an appointment. I drove out there. Sure enough, there were 3 people in line in front of me, and the couple that was in front of me had no ID or insurance card. When they got up there, they went, we forgot to bring it. She's like, let's just get a needle in you. That's fine, let's just get you vaccinated. and as I was waiting, I saw people coming in, and she would ask everybody, do you want to get vaccinated? And everyone was like, no, thank you. And one guy did the, no, like, nice try, Deep State. You're not gonna, not today, man. Like, I've seen the parallax view, and you're not gonna be. It was, I just was so blown away that when the polio vaccine came out in 1955, we were 2 years away from having satellites, for God's sakes. And the country could not have been more racist and backward and horrible, and they brought out a vaccine and people went, put it in my arm. And now
everybody
was like, yay, thank you, science. Now it's 2021. We carry portable world brains in our pockets. There are robots on Mars, and people are going, that vaccine's full of witch poison, I tell you. You ain't sticking me with no vaccine. I swear to God, if this attitude existed in 1955, they would have had to have one of those like animated like mascots, like a hypodermic needle, going, who do I gotta blow to cure polio? Like some little, literally trying to get people to. It's so insane.
What a wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, did you get? It's funny because everyone approached the quarantine differently. Did you get a lot accomplished during the quarantine? Are you one of those people that took care of stuff?
I did the mistake, and I'm sure a lot of people did too, those first couple weeks. I mapped out, I'm going to get all these books read. I'm going to have an exercise regimen. I'm going to use this time wisely. And then a month later, I was having Cheetos for breakfast and rewatching shows I'd seen a million times, didn't read any books. It took me a month to and I just went crazier than a barn full of clown pubes. Like I was just out of my freak. And folks, look,
Wait a minute.
I'm not.
What do you got to explain that one.
I'm not. Look, I don't want to get canceled for that. Okay, I'm just saying. Clown pubes are perfectly natural. Clown sex is fine. Whatever you want to do. I'm not judging. I'm saying the crazy is the person who gathered up enough pubes to fill a barn.
Yes.
That is what I just want
go.
you to know that I'm not putting the crazy on the clown pubes. It's the act of gathering enough clown pubes to fill a barn. And please, I'm just clown pube shaming hurts all of us, and I don't want that to be. Don't want that to be a problem.
What about this? What about the fact, because you're a guy very thoughtful, and I look to you for the answers. We're in a post.
Why? I just said barn full of clown pubes.
I know. Clearly a mistake on my
You need
part.
a better guru.
I got drunk with a doll in 2013. Wasn't me. But in this post-pandemic world, do you think life is going to be different? There are schools of thought. Some people say it's going to be radically different. Some people say we're going to drift back to what we used to be.
Absolutely nothing is going to change. I remember right when the pandemic started and it got really bad, I would sit around with my wife and say, well, you know, the buffets are never coming back. You kiss that goodbye. Buffets are going to come back so hard, and they're going to come back in that defiant kind of like, are you a pussy, or can you come and eat at the Golden Corral? We don't have any of these, like, I swear it's going to be, like, we don't have any of those woke sneeze guards, like those liberal left coast weirdos that come on out here and come on out to our cough welcome zone. It's just going to be...
We're utensil free.
There's no sink in our bathroom.
We'll build a Caesar salad right in your mouth. Can you take no sneeze guard dining, or can you not make love to your wife? Buffets are going to come back huge.
Yep.
All the cruise ships are already sold out.
Yes.
They've sold it. People have spent a year watching cruise ships mired off of coast because they were full of plague and death, and now they're like, well, I guess they're discounting it now. I mean, if the plague ship is expensive, then no. But if they're gonna throw in, a free water slide passes, how can I say no? Nothing will change. Nothing will change.
All right.
And it's sad.
You're in a Marvel franchise now. You're the
Yes.
voice of Marvel's, what is it, M.O.D.O.K?
M.O.D.O.K. It's a show now on Hulu that I co-created with this brilliant writer named Jordan Bloom. And M.O.D.O.K is basically the most crapped upon Marvel supervillain. His name stands for Mobile Organism Designed Only for Killing. He is a gigantic floating head in this weird suit with these tiny little arms and legs. And like Jack Kirby created him on a bad day. Like he either had like some bad corned beef, or he's like, oh God, and this drew this giant angry head. And from the get-go, all people do is make fun of this poor guy. So we're like, this is gonna be our Marvel show, the worst supervillain in the Marvel universe. And we kind of go into his life where he's determined to conquer the world, but unlike those idiots, Dr. Doom and Madame Mask, who can't also conquer the world and have a family and children, I'm going to do both. So he is determined to have a nice wife and kids in the suburbs, but then also destroy the planet at the same time. It's just, it's complete delusion and sadness, and it was so fun to do.
But this is, I mean, you're working with the Marvel people, and they kind of own, Deluxe Entertainment now. There must be great perks working for the Marvel people.
Oh my God, yeah, you get all kinds of, oh my God, there's stuff I can't talk about. There's stuff that I've seen that I can't talk about yet.
Right.
Ugh, boy, that sounds ominous. No, but I'm just saying, they're like, we get to see stuff that's upcoming.
What did they do to you?
Yeah, well, no, I can tell you one thing. In 2022, they're going to do a... The one thing that was weird about doing M.O.D.O.K was we asked for characters from the Marvel kind of toy box that we're like, well, they'll just say no to this one, but we'll be able to get this one.
Right.
They said yes to everything that we asked for. Every character we wanted to use are like, go right ahead. And we're like, really? And they're like, oh, absolutely. But then there were these other random minor characters. Like there's this one guy named Stiltman, who was one of Daredevil's, thank you, the one guy, yes, finally, yes, Stiltman. It is,
And holy shit, he's on stilts.
Yeah.
he is
Guy
literally,
tore his mask off and went,
it is like something you guys would create for one of your sketches. It is and he's exactly what I just said. He's a guy who has these legs that he can make really long and just kind of go up, like be tall and grab things out of buildings. It's Stiltman. And so we're like, we want Stiltman for this one scene. And they were like, no, you can't have Stiltman. We're like, I'm sorry, we can have Iron Man and Mr. Sinister, but we can't have Stiltman? No. Which makes me think, are they going to use Stiltman for something? Like, and also, it sounds like they're going to use him for something major and
Yes.
big. Like, did they get Joaquin Phoenix to agree to play Stiltman? That's going to be their Oscar? I don't know, but like, it's so amazing.
something
like,
big is in the works for Stiltman, and you stumbled into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was like just so intriguing, the stuff that's going on there. I love it.
I got to ask you about, because it drops tomorrow, your podcast.
Yes.
This is the podcast, Did You Get My Text? And you do this with your wife, and tell us about it.
It is basically, I think, what a lot of people have been experiencing in quarantine and in life. My wife and I, the lovely Meredith Salinger, live in a house together, but half of the day, even though we're never more than 60 feet apart, we just text each other stuff. Right. We could easily just go, hey, sweetie, did you see this? But we'll just text stuff all day.
Probably get a ton of great stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. It's that great thing of when you're sitting around with someone and you start just, hey, what's been going on? And it starts off as small talk and then it ends up into these giant rolling conversations, and it's really, really fun.
I did want to bring up, I'm getting sentimental at this stage of things, and I wanted to bring up that you started coming on our late night show in the real early days.
Really early.
And then throughout the years, in the different iterations of the show, you've always been there for us.
Yeah.
And you've been an important part of what we wanted to do with this show. Your comedy is so original and left brain, and it's always been very nice for us to have you come and be like a big part of what we were trying to do.
Well, it meant a lot to me, and I know that I can speak for like all my comedian kind of posse, that your show, especially that it reminded me of the way Letterman's show was back in the day of, our kind of comedy is getting some representation, this really weird, why not? I want to try something. I mean, the stuff that Artie Kendall, the ghost crooner.
Yeah.
One day I was working on a TV show, and for some reason the theme song for Rockabilly Polka Dotted Embryonic Fighter Pilots got stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Which is one of your things, like little things like that you're like, I have this idea, I don't really know what to do with it. Let's put it out to see what happens with it. Like that kind of the fact that got to have exposure really, really was a big deal for me.
Yeah. Well,
kept a lot of us going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was, it's so, as you can attest to, and you too, Andy, when you get to do the thing you dreamed of as a kid that's so stupid, and it's the thing that you get yelled at because people say, stop doing that, stop screwing around, and get to work, and then you grow up and someone says, if you'll do that, we'll give you a paycheck. I don't think there's anything more miraculous in life. It's just really nice.
The look on your face when you would do the random Chuck Norris Walker Texas Ranger lever, but the look on your but that when you would do it like the third or fourth time, there was that look of like, can you believe I'm like, dude, like you were so happy.
We used to pull this lever and it would show clips of these scenes from
Walker Texas Ranger.
Walker Texas Ranger, and we would show these clips, and they were the most insane clips.
Psychotic.
And so what happened was we loved it. It was my favorite thing, and then we were told that you have to stop doing it, and I said, why? And they said, because all the actors want to get, you have to pay all the actors, and it's a fortune, and if you don't stop immediately, I mean, literally it would have bankrupted the show, bankrupted all of us. You have to stop immediately, and I was crushed because I loved it, and then I told my producer, no, we're taking this to trial. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, I want to go to trial, and I want to show these clips, and then I want to turn to the jury and say, Do you really think that's acting? And I would have won!
You would have totally
I would have won!
Damn. Oh
All
my
right.
God.
We got to, I know. It'll happen in my next life.
Yes.
Patton's podcast with his wife, Meredith Salinger. Did You Get My Text? Premieres tomorrow.
Wherever you get podcasts.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being such a big part of our foolishness over the years. Patton Oswalt, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.